Hello, everybody. Lisa here. I see I've got a couple people in chat. Hi, Simon. Hi, Witch of Wands. I am being spontaneous again, and I also have some dog treats. So I have a Bruno. So this is my Bruno. He started getting little cataracts from his diabetes just the last couple weeks. So he's gone basically almost completely blind. Poor little guy. But we are getting him a surgery soon as long as he's a candidate. So we'll be seeing his puppy ophthalmologist on the 29th. It's really common. Almost every diabetic dog gets it, but I'm extra pampery. So I have some diabetic friendly dog treats here for him, which is why he's super focused on me right now. So how's everybody doing today? Hi, can you sit? You want to be a good boy for me? Okay, can I get paws? Other paw. Paws, both paws. Oh, that counts. There you go. Good boy. Shayla, come here. Shayla, come here. Give me your paw. She's gotten jealous lately if I don't also make her do a trick for her treats. She gets all like, what? But why aren't you asking me to do a treat or a trick? Okay. Oh, there we go. Hi. Good boy. Okay, one more for Shayla. Shayla, come here. Come here. There you go. All right, they're all done now. Now it's just mommy and coffee. He's like, I don't get it. There's got to be more. Oh, yeah, I forgot my Emperor video went live this morning. Yeah, that's perfect. Oh, good. I'm doing good. We have a vet appointment for Shayla coming up a little bit later today, so we're going to do that in a little while. But I just filmed my decks I'm working with this week video, which goes up tomorrow. So I've got new decks to play with, and I'm excited. So I thought I would pull cards for people if anybody is into it. I'm into it. I'm always into it. I think I might, in the new year, start doing Monday night card pulls, but I'm not for sure set on it yet. But I am working with the zombie. Look at Bruno. He's like, what you got? I got nothing left, buddy. It's all gone. I'm working with the zombie tarot. Hi, Celtic Witch. This week, and I'm kind of excited because my last week of decks, as you will all see on my video tomorrow, was kind of meh. This is Bruno. He's really cuddly now that he can't see as well, so he hangs out really close typically, and I just gave him treats, so he's real hopeful. Yeah. I'm actually excited to work with Zombie Tarot because I'm going to say actually a million times. I got the Zombie Tarot because it was like $10. Somebody was selling it on Facebook or Craigslist, and so there goes the cards. And so I was like, well, why not? Even though gruesome art, not normally my thing, but it's Halloween this month, and I kind of felt like it would be fun to work with maybe a more Halloween-y deck. But when I read the guidebook, when I first got this, it's got such a great sense of humor. Like, it's so playful and fun, and there's actually a lot of good stuff in the art. The art is not, I'll show you guys a couple cards. The art is, oh, look, the first card on top, Simon, is the Hermit. This is not my style of art, like, at all, typically. She's just, like, chilling with her book and is that chocolates? Yeah, she's got chocolates and her book, and all these zombies are, like, trying to get in, but they can't because she's got a real good barricade, and she's just like, hey, yo, I'm just hanging out. I'm not worried about you. I love this. This is great. You're edging your Mildred Payne in black. I still need to do that. Actually, no, I don't. I edged it in a sort of sepia. It's called sandstone, but it just makes it look a little bit old. That's what I did with mine. And I've got it here. I don't think I even said that. That's so cool, actually, Maddie. Hi, Jen. I hadn't even said, but I've also got my Mildred Payne Oracle out this week. So I'll be doing maybe some readings with that too, or some clarifiers, or I don't know. I'm just going to be all loosey-goosey with it. So if you're hanging out with me and you have Kelly's Mod Rocks, oh, to the zombie. Yeah, I watched that video recently. She like made it look all bloody, and then she got this like goo on it so that it like shines under different lights as like all like it's some kind of radioactive goo. I love it. She's so brave with her modifiers. I mean, I think this deck, it could use a little blood on it. I mean, it would be cool if this deck had a similar, like, you know how the Mildred Payne has, like, here's a good one, has some blood on it. That'd be kind of cool on this deck. Some like little blood spatters. That would be neat. But yeah, I do find the cardstock on this deck is kind of weird. It's kind of like it's sturdy. It's really thick and it's not overly glossy, but it's almost too thick, like, or too cardboardy. It's not that it's too thick, because I have decks that feel almost too thick. Yeah, Bruno finally realized there's no more food, and he's like, fine, I lay down. Hi, Satya. So if anybody wants a reading, pop your question in. Just make sure you do @SupportiveTarot, and I will pull for your question. I will try to do them in order. I'm probably not going to be on a super long time because we do have Shayla's vet appointment in a couple of hours, so we'll need to get up and get ready for that. I'm still in my jammy pants, but I totally did makeup and put a different shirt on. This is the beauty of YouTube. You can like put a really cute top on and feel like all adulty, but then your bottom half is all like cozy and jammies. Pretty much in like every video, I'm either in jeans or jammies, usually jammies. I would live in jammies. Yeah, absolutely, Sophia. What is your question? Let me know, and then I will pull some cards or a card, and we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Anybody doing anything fun this weekend? Going anywhere? We are having like the most beautifulest is now a word, by the way, just so you know, I've just created it. We're having the most beautiful October. It's almost like see, I can't even rifle these. Well, I can, but I really have to dig my nails in. We're having all this sunshine, and it's like 19 Celsius during the daytime lately, which I forget how to coordinate Celsius and Fahrenheit. So it's warm, like not super cold, like spring, like early spring. What should you know right now? Is there any new love you see from me coming up? So what should you know specifically about love and relationships coming up? Let's see. Is anything around the corner? You know what I'll do for this is I'll pull a few tarot, and then I'll pull a few Mildred and see if anything. We'll see. We'll see. I'm trying not to lock myself into some dogma here. I had a card flip just now. This Page of Swords is super creepy. Sorry, not related to your reading yet, Sophia. I have a feeling, but that is the creepiest freaking Page of Swords ever. Hi, Christy. Okay, I'm going to focus now on Sophia's question. Hi, Nikki. Okay, let's see what comes up. All right. And yes, Jen, I will. I'll do your question next. So, Sophia, the first card we have for you related to upcoming energies is the Page. Let's see if I can hold this still so that it will focus. Page of Hazards, which is Pentacles. And this card is, to me, a very slow-moving energy and an industrious energy. So it implies, to me, a need to sort of put yourself out there a little bit more. So with relating to finding somebody in your life, that's the first hit I get off of this, is that, well, like he's kind of chained to the mailbox because he's like, everything's going to come to me, right? The mail's just going to come, and then I can beat the mailman with my club and eat his brains. That's kind of what I see there. And I think you kind of need to unchain yourself from the mailbox, so to speak. I think you really need to find a way to put yourself out there and not necessarily just allow everything to come to you, which is fine if it does, but a little bit more exposure or vulnerability for you might be needed. So if you're interested in having more love come your way, look at what you're doing in your life to invite that. Either inviting it to come to you, so more actively inviting it, or really going out and getting more involved in the world. And that sometimes that's not even in real life. Sometimes that's even on the internet. Could be that you just need to put an ad up and see what comes your way, or engage in a new online community where you can meet like-minded people, right? Yay! Oh, good. So it's spot on so far. And we're going to pull another one and just see. And we have the Queen of Wands. So this card, the first thing I think about this is about confidence. So the first thing that popped in my head when I pulled this card, and I need to look at the artwork more, but the first thing that popped in my head when I looked at this card was there's a certain amount of I know what I'm worth and I'm going to go get it happening here, which kind of goes really well with the Page of Pentacles and needing to unchain yourself, or the Page of Hazards, really unchain yourself from waiting and getting more active. And this is about knowing what you're worth and knowing that you deserve to find the person that's going to be right for you. So I think that's really important. As questions are starting to build up really quick, guys, if anybody wants to sort of help me keep track, that would be super helpful for who's next. I'm pretty sure it is Jen next. So if anybody wants to help, that would be awesome, because chat scrolls and then I lose track. But anyways, so back to Sophia. Yeah, so definitely there's a bit here about embracing your confidence and embracing your worth and moving forward with that in mind. And then let's just see if Mildred has anything interesting to add. Maybe some guidance on the action step to take. So let's just see. I swear I told myself out loud a couple minutes ago. Well, there you go. I love the tarot. It's so cool. I love it. This is fun. I love giving readings this way. And I like giving readings my regular way too. I do list readings in my Etsy shop also. If you ever want something more in depth, I do video readings now, which is really exciting because I started my YouTube and was like, oh, hey, camera's not super scary. So now I do video readings through my Etsy. So that's pretty awesome. All right, a couple more. Let's see if we get any more action advice from Mildred here. All right, so I'm going to pull 3. I've got poison, key, and I'll show these in a second, but I want to take them in. Poison, key, and stump. Oh, interesting. Okay, so first hits. This is kind of cool. So the first hits I got off of this is that there was, I'll show the cards actually, but I want to really soak them in, so I'm probably going to put them back down. So there's the poison card. There's the key card. And there is the stump card. Okay. So first hit I got was pretty, it was like a cohesive picture. So I'm just going to share that. And then you guys tell me, or you tell me rather, Sophia, if that resonates for you. So very distinctly, I got the strong message that there was obviously some negativity. I say obviously, but like whatever. There was some negativity in your past, perhaps a relationship that went sour, somebody who broke your trust, something that's kind of lingering in there and has been wearing away at your confidence and your worth to a certain degree. And the key and the stump to me speak to the fact that that is the reason why you've sort of dug in that Page of Pentacles way and are like, nah, I don't want to take the risk. Like it's, whether that's conscious or subconscious, there's an element of being afraid to take the risk and getting burned again. And so I really feel like these 3 cards are just confirming that what the work is that you need to do to move forward with regards to love and relationships is going to be to do some work around shedding this negativity that has been kind of clinging to your heels. And I think that's actually what this chain represents. So in order to break the chain, you're going to have to deal with some of that past stuff and put it to bed. And remember too, that when we've got all this stuff sort of chasing us in our past, it's not as simple as just flicking it off. We're not going to like be able to banish the memory or the hurt or the ways that it makes us feel afraid. But what we can do is consciously decide not to let it have power over us. Yes, like recently, but not that recently, and you're scared. Yeah, exactly, exactly. So that's the work that needs to be done next, I think, on this. All right. Aw, Jen, it's, you know what? It's not as scary as you think. I was doing written readings for a long time, but I had very little bandwidth to do readings when I was doing written readings because I type fast, but I also had to organize photos into a document and do write-ups for every card. And it's actually much better and much flowier when I do them on video. So I'm excited that I've switched over. I've already done a few client readings with my new video format and it's gone very well. So I'm pretty pleased. Okay, so I think, and hello to everybody that's just joining us. Caliana's Corner. Hi, Molly. I think I said hi to Christy, but hi again, just in case. Okay, so Jen's question, I believe, was next. And yes, Sophia, by the way, I did see your comment here about getting out to the gym. I'm just kind of scrolling back and catching up a little. Okay, so we have Nikki. Here's Jen's question. Okay, I think Jen was next, and then it looks like Nikki after that. So I will try to keep track of that. So what do I need to know about my online business right now? Thank you. Okay, let's see what comes up. And guys, remember, if you have a question, pop it into the comments. Make sure you hit @SupportiveTarot so I can more easily find it. As chat gets a little busier, it'll get harder. And if anybody wants to volunteer to keep track of the list, that would be amazing because I might struggle a little with that. So if you guys want to scroll up and see who's next, somebody wants to pop in a list reminder every now and then, that would be super helpful. All right, Jen, so your online business. Yeah, I feel like I have to really pretty much overhand shuffle these, by the way. They're stiff enough that rifle. I'm still going to rifle because I do, but it's a little tricky. Okay, what do you need to know? Yeah, they're slappy when I rifle shuffle them. Oh, that's okay, Xanthia. Hi, thanks for stopping in. Oh, okay. Online business for Jen. Okay. Time to cut. Okay. And we have the 10 of hazards. Well, this is really interesting. So the hazards in this deck are the pentacles. I don't know why it's not focusing. Probably me not holding it still. So the hazards are pentacles. And I just like to soak in the image a little bit. So what I find interesting about this image, and I'll hold it up again in a second, is that the family seems really content. Like they've got it all. Everything's good. They've got more than enough. Their servants are zombies, though. And that provides a really interesting take. So we've got the maid and the butler. Let's see if my camera will actually focus properly. Come on. The maid and the butler there in the background are our zombies. I don't know if that helped. And so I have this image that it's like the people are not necessarily appreciating the work that's happening here. And that could really literally bite them in the brains, like in the face. They're going to get bit in the face. That's what I see from this. There's a bit of an idea here that you're at the end of one stage of your business. So you've come to the end of a particular cycle, and it can get really easy to get comfortable here. And there's no reason you shouldn't. You might be able to stay exactly as you are for a while now. But this tells me that it's time to look at shaking things up. It's time to look at doing something new and starting a new cycle. So there's an invitation here to grow and to branch out, and maybe also to pay attention to some of those details that while you've been getting comfortable might have been getting lost in the background. Could be that there was a project you wanted to work on that you've let languish, or it could just be that there's some details that might be not getting your full attention while you kind of hang out here where it's comfortable. But there's definitely a call here to step outside of comfort a little bit. Oh, welcome, Nikki. I'm glad you're just stopping in. That's awesome. Your first time in my live chat. I don't do these all the time, but I'm going to start doing them more regularly, probably in the new year. Is Jen still here? I'd love to know your feedback on that first card. Let me know if it resonated for you. And I'm going to pull a couple of Mildred Payne cards too. Oh, good. Oh, I'm glad. Okay, let's pull a couple Mildred and see if we get any further insights. I'm kind of digging this with its straightforward messages. So, and this is a great way for me to test out decks that I haven't worked with as much. Yes, Nikki. I'm probably going to make Monday night my reading live chat night starting in January, but we will see. I'm currently teaching a class on Monday nights that will be wrapping at the end of the year. So that might be what I do, or I might pick another night. But I'm on the West Coast, so time zones can get a little tricky. I would probably do it before dinner, maybe like 5:30 to 6:30 or something like that. We will see, which I guess on the East Coast of the US would be late, like 8:30 to 9:30. And everywhere else, it's a crapshoot. I have no idea. Middle of the night, probably. But we'll see. I also like doing weekend live chats, and I love Saturday mornings. So that might also become a thing. We will see. We will see. All right, so some Mildred Payne for Jen, just to see if there's any further insights. I think I'm digging the 3 card just to see if I get a little, and they're very much reading similar to Lenormand for me. I'm just going to call it Lenormand, y'all. I know it's like Le Normand or something French, but it's never going to happen. I'm just going to keep calling it Lenormand and stop beating myself up about it. That's right. All right, we have the moon, the bell, and the skull, which is really interesting. So, so again, these seem to be, okay, like Lenormand, I feel like I look at it and it's like word, 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 and then it makes a sentence. This is almost like non-linear in a really cool way. Like I'll pull 3 cards and then I get one cohesive image. And it relates to all 3, but it's really interesting. We'll see if it keeps reading this way for me. Oh, Saturday's perfect. Ooh, well, maybe Saturday morning live chats need to be my thing. Maybe I'll go live after Simon. Ooh, because I'm always up anyways. I do my nails and I chit chat with y'all during Simon's live chat. And then, yeah, that's a good time. Anyways, okay, sorry, distracted. Jen's reading. So moon, bell, skull. And I got one clear image. And that is, there's definitely an intuitive side to your online business, which is the first thing that kind of grabbed me. And there's an element here where it's really, really important for you to dig into that intuitive side of your business. That's going to be probably one of the next things you really need to dig into. And the skull tells me there's something you've been clinging to that you haven't quite let go of yet. So the image I got all in one fell swoop was The bell is speaking to two things happening at the same time. One, it's time to dig into your intuition more and use that more in your business. And you'll have to tell me, I guess, how that's going to apply, but really strong message and pull towards using your intuition more. And also in letting go of something that hasn't been serving you. And it could be something that you're feeling tied to. This happened to me in my businesses before. If sometimes you get attached to something because it's successful financially or it's successful feedback wise, but it's not feeding you anymore. And so you're still doing it because it's good and it's healthy for your business, but it may not be the thing that's really lighting you up. You need to reconnect with the thing that's lighting you up, I think, here. And that speaks a little bit to what we got from the card about these things in the background that were maybe languishing. I do think there's something that you haven't been doing as much of that you really want to be doing more of. So there's that. Hopefully that resonates, Jen. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm going to see if I can find, oh, yes, yes, yes. Oh, good, 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 good. I just good into your yes, 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 because threes are good. That's awesome. Hi, Lucy. I see that you've come in. I think I missed, oh, and Tammy Marie came in. Hi, Tammy. We are pulling some cards, and I got to see who was next because I know there was another couple questions in the queue. Let me go up. Okay. I think it was Nikki next. Let's take a look. I have to scroll a lot further. Oh, and I've got Celtic Witch too. Nobody let me forget Celtic Witch. Celtic Witch, are you still here? I'll get to you right after Nikki's question, it looks like. Okay, I would love a message for the coming week, if I may. Receiving keys to the new house Monday morning. What do I need to know to rock this week and do all the chores on the to-do list? A little nervous. Ooh, that's a big change in your life. But also, congratulations on the new house. Okay, so I'm going to kind of clear out these decks really quick, and then I will focus on your question. And I'm going to bring the chat back down so I can see what's happening. So remember, if you have a question, I think after Nikki, I've got Celtic Witch, and I don't know if there's any others. So if you have a question you want me to pull cards for, pop it in the chat and put @SupportiveTarot and tag me, or put it in all caps if your computer doesn't let you do that, so that I can see it easier. Oh, yay, Celtic Witch. Good. You're up next after Nikki. So Nikki, I know you're still here because I'm still seeing you interacting in there. Okay, so much going on for you. Let's see what your upcoming week is going to be like and what you need to focus on. Yeah, I think I have to just overhand these. I don't think they're going to... I keep saying that, and then as soon as I say that, I want to rifle them just to prove myself wrong because I really love rifling. All right, and then I've got to focus. I'm burning the incense behind me that came in my Witch's Moon subscription box, and it is heavenly. It is filling this whole space with this beautiful, luscious... Oh, and I totally practically bathed in my Queen of Wands oil that came in my box too. So I consecrated both decks, which I don't normally do. I think Benabel has like inspired me. And I also put this on all my pulse points. Also, my dogs are now freaking out. Bruno, sorry for the yelling. Hey. Oh, Peggy's awake now. Dogs are like, time to get up, Peggy. Okay, now I'm going to focus. I was so jealous of the Witch's Moon gorgeousness. This was my first month, and it was so exciting. I can't even wait. They've already billed me for next month, and I'm like, yes, take my money. Sorry, I'm looking down because that's where the chat is. Oh, Molly, I'm sorry. That's so tough. I sometimes get really, really, really hovry over Bruno with all of his stuff going on. Hi, Peggy. Yeah, she's in the kitchen just getting her first coffee of the day. She's a late sleeper, but she stays up really, really late. She's a night owl for sure. All right. I have to get up early because Bruno needs his insulin. Okay. Sorry. Back to Nikki. I really am going to focus on your question. I swear. I'm going to tune out chat for a second. Well, that's interesting because those just popped out, like demanded to be popped out. So I'll put those down and consider those for a second. Okay. Let's see if, those are interesting. Okay, we're going to cut. All right. Nikki. I just dropped my whole damn deck on the floor. Whew. See, my potty mouth comes out in my lives, apparently. I think I swore in like 2 videos this morning, too, so I'm sorry in advance. I try not to do that, but Peggy was right when she said I had a potty mouth. Okay, so Nikki, the card that jumped out first, very insistently I might add, is the Magician. And we have this sort of mad scientist vibe going on. And here's what I get from this. Legitimately, the vision I get when I pulled this card was like, you are going to feel like you are trying to keep 80 million balls in the air this week and have your hands and everything kind of all at once. But I think you're going to handle it like a badass. Oh, see, I'm swearing again. I'm sorry. You're going to handle it like a trooper. Badass is so much better, isn't it? Yeah. Anyways, I really see you taking things in your hands this week and just getting stuff done. I think there's going to be no problem with you knocking out your to-do list. For sure, this feels really strong. Interesting, though, the Hierophant like really insistently jumped out of the deck when I was shuffling. Like straight up flipped over and was like, no, pay attention to me. I have something to say. And I think he won't. I have like the least steady hands of anybody, so it doesn't focus. There we go. So it shows the TV, and this is actually kind of interesting. So first thing I'm going to tell you that jumped into my head when I pulled this card is that it's going to be really important for you to not hang yourself up with everything looking perfect. The way that this is going to work is if you let things be a little slap happy at first. So it might be that during the process of taking over the new place, you've got to get a whole lot of stuff done, but you're not going to be able to necessarily do any one thing exactly as to completion the way that you might picture it. So even if that involves some unpacking, as an example, I'll use it as an example. Let's say you're unpacking. You're not going to be necessarily able to unpack and get everything set up perfectly the way that you want. Maybe not even one area. And because you've got so much to do, you're going to be better off to focus on getting a little of everything done so that the basics are covered and focusing on details later. And I have a feeling that that's not always the easiest thing in the world for you. Like maybe it's, you tend to get hung up on those details and want this to be perfect before you go on to the next thing. So try to avoid getting caught up in that energy. It's probably not going to serve you very well this week. Hi, Blackbird Pond. So happy to have you. I'm playing with the Zombie Tarot and Mildred Payne's Oracle and pulling cards for people, and it's super fun. And drinking coffee and not letting it get cold. It's my commitment to myself. All you can do is paint all walls and wallpapering. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Okay. So maybe think about how you can approach that task without getting too hung up on details. Even if it just means that you're doing like most of the roller painting and saving detailing for, you know, just kind of break it up. Make sure it's in manageable chunks. Let's see what Mildred has to say. Basics, moving the furniture next week. Yeah, I think basics is good. And I have a feeling that more things are going to be popping up for you. That Magician really made it feel like you're going to have maybe some more items pop onto your to-do list that are not currently on it that you're going to need to address. So just remember to keep everything moving along. Try not to get too stagnant. Watch some how-to-dos. I can't wallpaper. Yeah. Never did that. I've never wallpapered either. It sounds hard. Also bubbles. Also, I can't even freaking put the screen protector on my phone without anxiety because I don't want it to go on crooked. So like, good luck with that. Let's see what Mildred has to say. Sweating already, but smiling. Yeah, it's going to be a lot, but you're going to rock it. The Magician was really clear about that. Okay. All right. So we have the Devil and the broom and the dagger. And all I could think of was the... Okay, sorry, this is so literal to me right now. I was like, the devil is in the broom. Like, the first thing that I thought of was like, damn it, I don't want to do any of this tedious crap. And here's the thing about painting, as an example. So painting is something I always get really excited to do because I like rollering with the big roller, but the detail work sucks. Like, I hate it. And so literally the last time Peggy and I had to do some painting, I was like, can I just do the big spots with the roller? And can you do all the detailing? And she totally let me off the hook. It was amazing, and I had a great time. But I hate the details. And also when you're doing something like painting or like big tasks like that, you get into it and you're like, yeah, this is going to be awesome. And then you get like halfway in and all of a sudden your energy is petering out and you're like, I hate this and I want it to be over. So that's totally going to be a thing. Don't let it get you down. You're still going to rock it. And finally, the dagger. Hilariously, the first thing I thought of was don't be planning to do a whole lot of cooking. If you can make things easier on your life this week by eating out or planning some ordering in meals or something, don't be going for the kitchen and trying to do some fancy. Don't take that on. Don't add to your list. Think of what you can cut away. Cooking is the first thing that popped in my head, very literally. I was like, oh, butcher knife. I don't know why. It's not. It's a dagger. My brain is so funny sometimes in the way that my intuition works. But anyways, that's what it was. So I'm going to honor it. definitely be aware of not overloading yourself with that kind of stuff, and stick with finding ways to make your life easier this week by shortcutting where you can. And I know the money is kind of annoying sometimes. You're like, I don't want to spend all that money eating out, but trust me, your sanity will thank you later. All right. Woohoo. Lining shelves is a full-on anxiety. I've never lined shelves. Is that something grown-ups are supposed to do? Because I've not done it. I have not done it. All right. And now I can't remember who was next. I think it was Celtic Witch. If anybody knows, tell me, and I will scroll up. It's getting harder to scroll up, though, y'all, so make sure if you have a question you want me to read for you. I don't have a super long list, so I think it's fine. But if you have a question, just tag me so that I can get to it. Okay, I know your question is in here somewhere, Celtic Witch. Is it in caps? Oh, boy. Okay. Oh, yes, she is next. Perfect. Thanks, Nikki. Yes. Oh, good. Thanks, Lucy. Okay, now I have to find her question. It's harder when chat gets longer. I feel like I need a better system for all of this, but let's just see if I can scroll up and find it. Okay, that's Jen's reading. Nikki Sparkle. Sorry, bear with me, you guys. Oh, there it is. She tagged me. Oh, perfect. Should I trust them? Ooh, this is a good one for the Zombie Tarot. I think it's going to be pretty straight up, so let's see. Oh, thank you, Lucy and Nikki. You guys are the best. Oh, my God. And Celtic Witch. Oh, thank you so much for reposting. That's super helpful. It didn't even occur to me that I could ask you to do that. That's awesome. You guys are amazing. It's so much fun to do this, but I'm always worried I'm going to skip somebody accidentally or something. So I think I don't have anybody else in queue. Oh, good. Blackbird Pond. Your timing is perfect. I don't think I have anybody else in queue, though, after Celtic Witch. So if you've got your question, throw it in, and then keep track of it in case I need you to repost it for me if I can't find it. All right. Should you trust them? We're going to pull one card and see if it's clear and then go from there. We'll see if anything jumps out, too, because these have been jumpy today, I've been noticing. Probably because I'm overhand shuffling, and I don't typically. Okay. Also in threes. See, threes are a thing. Yes, yes, yes. Good, good, good. Okay, I'm going to focus on Celtic Witch's question. Okay, I'm going to cut. Okay, and then another sip of coffee. So Blackbird Pond, put your question in all caps and with a tag. I think the combo is actually really helpful so that I can see it. Oh, and Lucy, put your question in. This is fun. Ooh, okay. All right, I have two feelings that came up with this card, and it's going to depend on your perspective in the situation, okay? He focused, and then I wiggled. Are you going to focus now? Or are you going to be like, no, screw you? My camera is so picky about me being still, and I don't have steady hands. I wonder if I need to tilt it away from the light. I'm super annoying with throwing these cards up in the middle of the screen. Okay, Emperor. Okay, so... Okay, sorry, I'm getting distracted by chat. Okay, two perspectives on this card depending on where you are in the situation. Perspective number one, you're the one trying to, like okay, sorry. My mind is clear, but my words aren't always. Okay, so this is this like really like prepared, ready, I'm going to take care of business kind of person. Now, if this is about, if you're dealing with a person who's got a really strong voice, almost like an authoritative voice, who has a tendency to express themselves in very confident ways, sometimes overconfident maybe even. If this is about that person, then I have a feeling that you're good with them. Okay, but here's the second thing that popped out. So we're probably gonna have to pull a clarifier on this. The second thing that popped out was, if this person is like pressuring you or beating down your door, or you're getting the sense that they are nudging you before you're ready for something, then the answer is you need to hold your ground. You need to hold your ground and defend your principles, okay? So I'm going to pull some more cards to see if we can clarify which of those it is. But if you have a strong feeling based on what I've said, then we'll go with that. But I really think there's more to the story here. Oh, see? Okay, now look at this. Now, both of these cards, sorry, we got the Queen of Swords. Both of these cards have a strong do not mess with me vibe. And I have a feeling that that's probably you. And I have a feeling that your intuition is already telling you that you need to stand your ground on something and not let your defenses down. And I have a feeling that if that's the way that you're feeling, I have a feeling, you know what I mean? If that's the way that you're feeling, it is definitely for a reason. These are both powerful cards, and neither one is going to take any crap. Do you know what I'm saying? So especially if this is somebody who's been a source of crap for you in your past, then the answer is no. You should not trust them. Or at the very least, you should definitely be looking after yourself. So keep your defenses up, keep them in place. Yeah. And definitely let me know how this is feeling for you so far, because I'm hoping that this is feeling clear. So let me know your thoughts. Oh, good. We've got a couple more questions. Okay. So I'm going to pull some Mildred while I wait for some feedback from Celtic Witch on those first two cards. And we'll see what comes up. I've got Shayla is down here like at the foot of my bed, just like passed out. Spot on. I'm keeping them up. Yeah. Okay, good. Good. Let's see if Mildred has any further clarifying information for us. Again, I'm going to pull 3 cards for Mildred. With the tarot, I can be a little looser. Sometimes it's 1, sometimes it's 2, sometimes it's 3. But Mildred seems to work well in 3s. Okay. Peggy's in the chat. Dude, I need to make her a moderator so she can like smash the bad peoples. Hold on. Now that she's in here, it's easier. Dupe. Add moderator. Woo! Here we go. Now she has power. Peggy with power is fun times. Okay, sorry. Celtic Witch, we're going to pull your Mildred. Mildred cards. Peggy's still waking up, lol. Yeah, she can't even type her name properly. All right, we have Antidote, Fetus, and Stick. Oh, interesting. Okay, so energy I get is this. Definitely this is somebody who has a tendency to take more than they give. And okay, this is going to be a horrible analogy. I'm not even going to show the cards because I don't want it to look really bad. But the first thing I thought of, again, the cohesive image I got from these 3 together was that the way to find peace for you right now, the way to find your stable ground is to beat off that suckling influence with a stick. So more protect yourself energy being echoed with these 3 cards. I really get the feeling that it's like, I almost get, okay, it's a fetus card. Just, you know, but what I get from it is almost like a, what do you call the thing in sci-fi when it's like in your, Peggy will know, when it's in your brain and like it's leeching off of you, like you're the host. What's that called? Somebody's got to be a sci-fi nerd. I know Peggy tells me, don't call me on my typing. Yeah, right. Giving them a chance, but keeping your guard up. Yeah, I get this feeling though that what you really have to watch, Celtic Witch, is the parasite. Yes, thank you. I lose my words all the time when I'm reading, and it's terrible because I think in pictures when I'm doing readings. Aha, Nikki beat you to it, Peggy. But yeah, parasite is perfect. So that's exactly the image that I had when I pulled these 3 cards together. And that what you're going to really need to do is manage the energy exchange most importantly. So yes, keep your guard up, but also watch for give and take and watch for them draining you. So this is particularly true if you have, if you've ever had experience with a narcissist in your life. Narcissists have a tendency, there's a term in, I don't know if it's psychology, but it's definitely a term within groups of people who talk about dealing with narcissists, and that is their supply. So narcissists feed off of the energy of the people around them, and it's literally like a fix or a supply. And so when you try to cut or create boundaries with a narcissist, they have a tendency to try even harder to get more of that supply from you. So be really wary and keep an eye on them doing that, on them trying to like get their fix from you, and make sure that you're only giving as much as you want to give and not a single bit more, like not a single bit more. Okay. All right. Who was next? 20:30 over here. Okay. That's military time. 8. Can I math? 8. I think it's 8:30. So let me know if anything was unclear, Celtic Witch. And then I think if I'm scrolling up, yes, Lucy's question is next. How will the party tonight and tomorrow go? Okay, let me clear these, and then we will do that question. I'm going to have another sip of my coffee. Okay, and then I have to put the chat back where it goes. I'm really liking how this is reading. I'm feeling like I'm getting clear reads off both decks, which is very refreshing because the decks I was working with last week, I had to work a lot harder at. So this is exciting. And these are probably the decks I will go for. I might have to actually put like a Halloween themed reading or a couple Halloween themed readings up in my Etsy shop or something, because this would be really fun to do some Zombie and Mildred client readings this week also. Okay. Oh, my chat's all funky. Okay. So Lucy, how will the party tonight tomorrow go? You're welcome, Celtic Witch. Okay. How will the party tonight tomorrow? Tonight tomorrow. Is this an overnight party? I'm just curious. Or is there 2 parties? I'm just wondering. Psychic vampires. Yes, Peggy. Perfect. Sorry. Okay, I am actually going to focus in a second. I always need a minute to kind of clear out the clutter, and then I'll focus. Okay. Oh, thanks, Nikki. All right, now. Focusing on Lucy's question. That's really funny. Okay. Things are happening over here, y'all. All right. Overnight party. Aha! That explains the tonight tomorrow. Oh, hey, maybe they just need to be broken in because they're rifling a little better now. Woo! So good. Okay. I just need to be more brutal with them. I just had another jumper. This is a very jumpy deck. Oh, yeah. That is freaking hilarious. I can't even. I'll have to show you the jumpers in a second. I don't think they're the answer, but, well, they might be the answer. Let's just start with those, and we'll go from there. So our Emperor leapt out again, which is hilarious. And what's funny is that when he leapt out, I got a totally different vibe from him because context of the question and all. And what I was thinking was, like, once everybody is in for the party for the night, it's going to be great. Like, I just got this feeling that people are going to, like, it's almost like you're going to create your own energy with the group of you. Sorry, I just noticed my nail is all funky. I'm such a squirrel. There's like a weird, oh no, it's just a reflection. We're good. Anyways, sorry. I just did them, so, you know, I'm attached. So, yeah, I got this feeling that there's going to be a little bit of depth. So once everybody's really in and comfortable and settled and past the initial excitement of getting together, there's going to be a little bit of depth that's going to get dug into. I don't know why I got that from there, but that's what I did. But the second jumper is hilarious because it's the sun. And I was like, well, yeah, because it's going to roll over into the morning. That made perfect sense to me. I don't know. It was just kind of, it made me laugh, literally. I have a feeling this deck is going to just enjoy messing with my head a little bit in the good way. Bye, Jen. Blackbird Pond. Oh, no, I missed Blackbird. Did I miss Blackbird Pond's question? Okay, help me remember, you guys, who's after Lucy. Okay. Whew, okay. Oh, sorry, it's upside down. I didn't mean to do that. I pulled another card. The King of Wands. And, okay, this deck is not reading the way I would expect it to read at all. But literally, this has nothing to do with this image, but the first thing that popped into my head was that you guys are going to have some great food. So the food part is going to go well. That's really funny. I don't know why I got that. He's literally drilling a hole into a bone, and he's making something out of it. So he's being really creative. Oh, you know what? Are you doing something really interesting with the food tonight? I mean, I'm just going to ask because I'm testing my own intuition, but I'm just curious if there is something... like the first thing that popped in my head is like a fondue party would be like this, where you're doing something a little bit more fun and creative with the food. But first thing I thought was food and that the food was going to go well. And then the second thing I thought was, oh, wait, but there's some creativity here. So, and some ingenuity. So I'm really super curious now if I'm totally off base or if that has any relevance whatsoever. I'm always curious to see how some of my initial intuitive hits go. Excuse me. Jen said, tell her that she'll be moving to Tennessee. Who's moving to Tennessee? I missed that. Someone is cooking tons of food. Okay, well, expect something interesting. That's all I'm going to say on that. Something interesting. I don't think it's going to be bad. I think it's going to be good. But something interesting or fun. Maybe something as a surprise. Blackbird Pond, your first reading other than by yourself? Oh, that's awesome. I love getting my cards read, and I don't mind who reads them. Like, I like them getting read by people who've like been reading for a long, long time. My sister did a reading for me, and I was so excited because I don't get readings very often. Okay, so Lucy, we're going to pull a few Mildred Payne and see if we get any other little tidbits about your gathering. All right, let's see. I really want the Mildred Payne with the matching backs. This makes me so annoyed because I'm never going to build the freaking Ouija board that this makes, but oh. Huh. Give me a second here just to soak these in and then I'll share. So I have a feeling. So, okay. There's two interpretations for what I've gotten from this. So I've pulled the lighthouse. I've pulled the puppet. And I've pulled the bee. And like, again, this is definitely reading in kind of a funky way for me, but I'm just going to roll with it. And you tell me if it's good or it's bad. Oh, okay, Kaliana. I have to go back and probably look at your question to me and see. Okay, so I don't even know how to express this. Okay, so the puppet, the first thing is kind of the center of the reading for me. And the first thing I thought was that people are going to be dragging in the morning. And they're either going to be dragging because they stayed up too late, or possibly, I see with the sting of the bee here, I think there's the possibility that there's going to be a little too much drinking, or at least more than people are maybe used to. So people, but ultimately all I got from this is people are going to be a little draggy tomorrow morning. So once the sun comes up, expect for the shine to have worn off of most everybody. So a little bit slower of a morning. Yeah, buzzing, that could be. Yeah, totally. Yeah, so that's what I got. So either staying up too late, being really like chatty and excited. And I did get the feeling from the Emperor that there was going to be some depth. So maybe some really good conversations or some deeper conversations. But yeah, that's what I got off of that. Welcome back, Simon. I love the sun card. Okay, so I know I have Blackbird Pond. And then Kaliana also mentioned a question. I will tell you if I move. Okay. Kellyanne, if you asked a question, would you mind reposting it? And does anybody know the order? It's either Blackbird Pond next. I think it might be Blackbird Pond next. Definitely excessive drinking at this party. Yes. Yeah, the sting of the bee, what I felt was like almost like hangover or headache. What's what I got off of that. But I hate assuming people are drinking. So I was just kind of second guessing myself a bit. But I should have gone with my first instinct because that was what I thought. Also, the lighthouse made me think of how lights can feel really bright when you're hungover. Just saying. Copy pasted it. Oh, from Blackbird Pond. Thank you, Nikki. You are the most helpful. I appreciate it. Okay, mine is somewhat superficial. I'm at a turning point in my life and I'm considering my first tattoo. Should I go for it? Okay. Oh, I'm yanking cords. Sorry, guys. Okay, there we go. I think we're stable again. First tattoo. Oh, and you wanted to know if you'll move to another country. Okay, Kaliana, I will do yours next. I'm going to focus on Blackbird Ponds. I might have got the order wrong. Thank you for being patient with me. I love doing these kinds of lives. They're so much fun, and I get so buzzy with the energy. It's really exciting. Oh, okay. So I'm going to do some overhand, and I'm going to do some more rifle, and we'll see what comes up. Quilty trade, I see in the comments. Okay, I'm going to focus in a second. I'm the worst. See, I have to have like my little squirrely moment while I'm shuffling and clearing the deck, and then I have to focus after that. It's the weirdest thing. Yeah, cards are even telling me to focus. Okay. Here we go. And we have the dreamy, creepy as hell Page of Cups as your first card. Okay, so actually, okay, this is not at all what this card, I'm sure, is trying to depict. But what I thought at first when I looked at this was his little sand bucket actually has a brain in it. And I can't tell if he has a brain in his head. I mean, I'm assuming he does. But the first thing I thought was that he's put his brain in his bucket and he's carrying it rather than letting it live in his head. This sounds so goofy, but what I thought of when I pulled this card was that for this decision, you need to set the analytical part of your brain aside. You need to think with your heart and your gut. And if it feels like it's the right time to do this, then you need to go with it. So this is definitely about listening to your heart and intuition and much less about overthinking. So I think that's going to be a pretty clear yes. Aha. And the next card that came up was Judgment, which tells me that probably your hesitation is what other people might think, either somebody specific or a group of people, or, and this is a big one, your own fear of self-judgment later, of regret, of wondering, did I make the wrong decision? And Judgment is very much a card about reflection and about choosing to maybe move away from one phase of your life to another. And I will tell you that if you get this tattoo and you hit a phase in your life where it no longer resonates, take this piece of information and sort of file it away. It can still honor a time in your life, the time that you got it. It can still have significant meaning, even if you move into a phase of your life where you're no longer as interested in tattoos or having a tattoo. Does that make sense? I hope it does. And I'm going to pull a little bit of Mildred as well. But let me know your thoughts on that, because I think for me, it's a very clear get out of your own way kind of answer. And that tells me that you've already pretty much decided that you want it and you're ready to get it, but you're hesitating. And that's where the fear gets in and starts to mess with your head a little bit. So I think you need to move away from that fear and that analyzing and just go with it. That's what I think. Full disclosure, I'm a big fan of tattoos. So, I mean, I think they can be beautiful as a way to mark a time in your life or an event in your life. So, you know, spot on. Yes. I love it. For some reason, I feel like I get really... the video thing is so much, I don't know. Like I said, I was doing written readings and getting really good feedback for clients before, but now that I'm doing video readings for clients, it's just like boom, boom, boom. And I really love that I can get out of, I think the Osho Zen taught me that I can get out of my own way when I'm reading, less worrying about the exact meaning of the card, more diving into the artwork, things like that, which I think is why I get a little bit lost when there's not as much art for me to pull from, because I can pull very different meanings from different cards. Anyway. Focusing on you for Mildred and your tattoo. Let's see if Mildred has anything fun to say. Okay. Okay, I'm going to soak these in for a second and then I'll share. Okay. I'll show the cards in a second, but I want to share my thoughts without worrying about how it's going to come across first. So here's what I got from this. I got some interesting literal information about the style of your tattoo, which is really interesting, which I'll talk about in a moment. And then I got this idea that this tattoo is definitely going to have some emotional or spiritual meaning for you. So there is something that it's going to remind you of or honor in yourself or about your life that is important and significant. And that tells me and confirms for me what I was getting in the other two cards, that it's going to be really good for you to move forward with this and to have that memento. And memento can mean a lot of different things, but that marking of an experience or of a time in your life or of something that's meaningful to you. So definitely good. And okay, I've had tattoos, so this is probably why my brain went here, but I also pulled both the pitchfork and the arrow. Now, if this is going to be your first tattoo, I believe, is that right? You can confirm that for me, but I will just say, even if you know this already, when you're getting a tattoo and you're getting thick outlining, usually outlining is done in black, but sometimes just thick outlining is usually single needle work. And it tends to be bolder in its design. And then, and then finer detail, shading and coloring tends to be a multi-needle tip. And so it's, I get the feeling that your tattoo is going to have both some bold lines and also some shading or some finer work. So for example, I don't know if that's going to show well on camera. That was all very fine work. Now it was single needle through all the outlining, but it was a very fine single needle. And then the shading was all multi-needle. And I might have those two things backwards, by the way, I just realized. It might be that the single needle is the fine stuff and the multi-needle is the bold line. But that's what it made me think. You're going to have both in your reading. Or I mean in your tattoo reading. I need another sip of coffee, clearly. Maybe several sips. Former Mormon living. This makes so much sense then, right? Super worried about judgment and you're all in your head. Yes, exactly. That's exactly what I love this. I freaking love the tarot. It's amazing. So cool. So something to think about, because real life and all, and I will just tell you, is that most of the people that I know get their first tattoo somewhere that's easy to cover up. And that can create a lot of confidence. So for example, even in this spot, which is probably my most visible tattoo, and the ones I got the most recently, I can still wear long sleeves or put on jackets if I'm around somebody that I don't want to share it with, although I'm kind of over that in my life, to be honest. Yeah, absolutely, Christy. I think I've only got Caliana, and then you could go right after that, unless I've missed somebody. Please, everybody correct me if I'm wrong. Caliana, can you confirm the whole single needle, multi-needle, or anybody else who knows? Because I think I got it backwards. I think it's single needle for fine work and multi-needle for bold. But I would be curious. Yeah, tarot is so freaking awesome. Okay, Caliana, I need to double check. I think it's about moving, but let me just scroll up while I sip coffee. If you will move to another country. Oh, juicy. I like it. Thinking of the placement of Simon's deviant moon. That's a great spot. Like, I got mine higher up on my wrists than I originally was thinking, because it's a little easier to cover up if I want to. And I wanted that flexibility for me. Single for fine. Still waking up. Thanks, honey. She knew. She knew. Yeah. Caliana's Corner is next. Thanks for helping, everybody. Hi, Scorp444. So I'm probably only on for another 13 to 15 minutes-ish. So I've got to get off probably at around noon so I can go cuddle Peggy and we can get ready to go to Shayla's vet appointment this morning, or this afternoon. This afternoon. It's like 11:50 right now here. Okay. Oh, I'm just trying to clear Mildred Payne while I'm chatting, and I've got flippers and just klutziness happening. Okay, she's mostly good. Okay, and let's clear out our zombies, and then I will focus on your question. Yeah, Simon's tattoo looks great there. It's a good spot. It's actually the spot on my body that hurt. Sorry, I'm not trying to freak you out. It did hurt a little bit more than the other, but I do think that's partly because it was all the single needle, the fine work. I just didn't zone out the same way I have in my other tattoos. Although actually I think my ouchiest place was right along my spine on my upper back. I've got a tattoo back there that goes into my neck. Hi, Scorp. Put your question, just tag me at Supportive Tarot and put in all caps. And if I have time, I will definitely get to you. I've got the one I'm on now and then one other before you. So we'll see how time goes. I'm only on for another 10 to 12 minutes. Okay. So, Caliana, are you going to move to another country? Let me focus. Okay. Were my wrists the worst? See, my memory is like terrible. Thank God I have Peggy. I don't know what I'd do without her. Oh, my deck is upside down, or I just picked up a card upside. That's really weird. Oh, you guys, I totally messed up my deck. Now I've got upside downs and right side ups, and I hate that. Okay, sorry. Moving to another country. I get strength, and I'm going to have to pull another card on this because I'm still thinking this one over. So I'm going to put that down and consider for a second. Oh, interesting. I'm just going to say that all like mysteriously until I have a clear picture of what's happening here. Okay. Okay. So I get the feeling there's a perceived opportunity, and I'm going to show you cards in a minute because I really want to take this in and be staring at the images while I talk, which is how I read in real life, not holding them up to a camera. So I'm going to just soak this in for a minute, and talk, and then I'll show you cards and kind of relate it in a minute. So I have a feeling that something's being dangled. Either it's dangled in your mind or it's dangled in real life, and it feels like a really big opportunity, but definitely, I'm getting the impression that more digging needs to be done to find the truth and the actual opportunity beneath the opportunity. Does that make sense? So there's the dreamy quality of something exciting and potentially new. So something just happened, like a website just opened. What happened? No, close. What's happening? Am I still here? Okay. Phew. I'm still here. I think I've got my mouse on the bed and I probably clicked something. Okay. So there's the dreamy quality of like an opportunity, of something exciting that could happen or might happen. And it looks appealing and it might be appealing, but definitely you need to dig. Okay, this is what it is. Okay, I'm gonna start pulling up cards so it makes sense. Okay, so here's the dangle. Gosh darn it, I keep clicking on stuff. Oh, I know why, because I'm putting cards on my laptop and there's a touchpad thing. Okay, whatever. That's what's happening. So this is the dangly card. It's the moon. And you see how this figure is holding this key over top of the bed? The image that I got from that was very strongly that this is what you're seeing is this potential or this opportunity. And, oh, good. Thanks, Lucy. This potential or this opportunity for something new and exciting, a change, a shift, which I'm assuming is related to your question about moving to another country. So, but you need to dig below the dreamy, not fantasy, but that dreamlike, fairy tale-like quality to thinking about this change, and dig into the dropping shit. Sorry, thanks. Dig into the brutal reality beneath it, the realistic side of thinking about this decision. What are the realities if you make a move like that and it doesn't go as planned? Have you thought about worst case scenario thinking? That's what this is. Peggy knows all about this because she taught me how to do it. But we had to do this when we got together. And I was considering moving to Canada. We had to discuss what happens if we break up, like right after I move up here? Like, what would I do? Would I be okay? Would I regret the decision? What would the ramifications be? That's what I see with these two cards is you need to break away from the dreamlike quality and get down to really nitty gritty thinking about it. Really nitty gritty stuff. And I just want to scroll up and check out chat for any feedback from Caliana. Okay. Yeah. And lastly, I did pull a third card, and this is the Seven of Swords. Making sure that's coming through clearly. It's not quite focusing. I don't know if you can tell, but this lady is walking down the stairs. I don't know what she's holding in her hands, but she's just kicked a zombie. Oh no, she's kicked a person. She's kicked a person in the face, like down to the bottom of the stairs. She's like, nah, man, you first. Her leg's also at a really strange angle. But anyway, it's like she's like, you know what? I need to look after me right now. And this card combined with these other two tells me that you really need to look after your own best interests because nobody else is going to do it for you. Even people that have your best interest at heart, it's ultimately you that's responsible for your own best interests. So I don't know if there's an actual opportunity looming or if this is more like the process you would go to if faced with such a decision. But definitely it's going to be important to be really practical minded and to look after yourself first. So definitely the advice would be not to make this move just for another person, for example. Okay. And we're going to see if Mildred has anything to say, and then I will pull the chat down so I make sure I haven't missed anything. I miss actually a lot of chit chat, by the way, you guys, just so you know, when I'm doing readings, because I'm really focused on the cards and stuff. I always think about worst things scenario before I change countries. Well, good. Good, good, good. Yeah, and that's definitely the advice for sure. Sounds good to me. I was just wondering in general. Yeah. Yeah. So tells me if that's the case, if you're wondering more in general, then the context of the moon card is definitely that there is going to be an opportunity at a certain point. And you'll just need to look at it with brutal honesty. And let's see if Mildred has anything to say, because she's been really chatty this morning or today, dropping cards all over the floor. Okay. And then if anybody knows for sure who's after Caliana, please remind me, because I may have forgot already. Ooh, cool. Okay, so sorry. I hate that I do that. Well, I mean, I don't hate that I do it. It's part of my process, but I got to look at all the images and then react and then share. Okay, so I got fire and cauldron and tooth. And the image that popped into my head, these have been very snappy for me today, which is really exciting. The image I got from this is that you enjoy a change of scenery. You've got a bit of a wanderer spirit, but it's also just as important for you to find the excitement and the personal growth and the opportunity in digging in. So there's good things on both sides. So there's good things about diving into transformation and changing your scenery so you get fresh outlooks, but there's also good to be gained from digging in and rooting in where you are. So just remember that when you're faced with those sorts of opportunities, it's not necessarily that there is a flat right or wrong decision. it's that good things can come out of both, and it's what do you need most at that time. If you find that you typically jump right into transformation and change first, maybe challenge yourself by digging in a bit longer where you are now, and see what that does for your personal growth, or vice versa. Does that make sense? Hopefully. It's so hard to focus on what you're talking about as well as keeping your eye on the chat, huh, Lisa? It is, Simon. I know you do it every freaking weekend. I don't even know. And you do a really good job, I think. Like when we did our interview, I felt like you were really attentive to what I was saying, and you still managed to keep an eye on what was happening. It was pretty great. I'm just sitting here doing nothing and I'm missing stuff in the chat, LOL, and I even have my glasses on and can read. Yeah, it gets moving pretty fast. Oh, Christy, I think you had a question, didn't you? Can somebody repaste who's next and their question? I see Scorp's question. I think Christy was next, actually, now that I think about it. And then after Christy is Scorp. It is harder than it looks. That's right, Simon. Okay, Christy, I think you are next. I'm going to see if I can find your question, but if you repaste it too, that would be helpful. We're talking about tattoos. Lucy, tattoos closer to bones hurt more, or less fat to bear the pain. That's what I've heard. I think that's true. But definitely across the spine. I think the body wants to protect the spine. Okay, there is Christy. Oh, here we go. Christy says she wants a poll. Okay. Oh, good. She reposted it. Yay! Thanks, Christy. How can I overcome my inner struggles, being overly sensitive to those who misunderstand me? I hate conflict and want peace. Oh, girl. I hear you. I hear you. I really struggle with that too. Let's see what comes up for you. I'm just clearing out Mildred, and then I will clear out zombies, and then I will focus. And my zombies are all screwed up because I rifled, but I forgot to turn them properly. So now, whatever. I'll just flip them over when they come up like that. Oh, because that's how I shuffled. I just felt myself doing it again. I'll have to fix it after. Anyway, we'll clear out zombies, and then I will pull a card or two. Thanks, Simon. And then Scorp is after Christy. Okay. We've already had a jumper, so I'm just taking that in while I'm shuffling. Okay. All right. So I'm going to pull another. Okay, so I'm going to talk through the first card, and then we'll go from there. So I got the 10 of Cups when I was originally focusing on your question, Christy. Oh, there goes my nose. And all I keep thinking about when I look at this is that you have a tendency to overextend, in the sense that you offer an offer to help. You put yourself out there and you reach out and you do the generous thing. But I think part of what's happening is that meanwhile, in the background behind you being there for other people, there's all this like, see, I'm noticing this explosion in the background, this fire, like this whole city's freaking on fire, and this family's like, la la la, everything's good, everything's great. And this is kind of what I think is happening, is that on the surface there's this want to have it all together and to be there for other people, but meanwhile you've got all your shit going on too. And who's being there for you? Who is reaching out to you and extending you the same compassion that you are extending outward? And that is where that sensitivity can come from. Because what happens is that when you're being the giver in your relationships or in your interactions, everybody wants to be seen. Everybody wants to have somebody pull us into a big hug and say it's going to be okay. We all want that. At least I think that's pretty universal. And so this tells me that often for you, there's stuff simmering under the surface, and you want the person you're engaging with, even the person you're trying to help, to say, thank you. Like, I really appreciate that How are you doing? Even when they're in their stuff and you understand that they're in their stuff and they may not be as capable of doing that, but that doesn't change the fact that you kind of want that. And that is normal and healthy. So it's nothing that you need to beat yourself up about, but just maybe be aware that you might do such a good job of coming across like you've got you're good, that people might not realize that you're needing a shoulder too. And maybe it's because you're spending so much time being the shoulder for other people. And I also pulled the Ace of Hazards. Again, hazards in this deck are pentacles. And this, again, feels like a bit of a reaching out. You are desiring, you want to connect with people. And you want to connect with people on a deeper level, but not everybody is capable of that. In fact, some people, when you reach out on that deeper level, they get really uncomfortable. Yes, and this felt like reaching for help, Christy. That's exactly what I was thinking about with this card. You want to reach out, like you want somebody to take your hand and pull you out of the dirt. But as much as you extend that outwards, you don't necessarily always get that back. And here's something interesting. Sometimes when we find that this is happening a lot in our lives, where we're reaching out, we're being there for other people, and we're not getting a lot of that in return, it's because the people that you've surrounded yourself with are, whether they intend to be or not, more takers than givers. And it's not a judgment. It's just that some people don't recognize, they don't have the clearer vision to be able to tell. I'm going to just adjust my camera slightly. To be able to tell when you're the one that needs to be reached out to. Okay, that's too much. Okay. I hope that makes sense. I'm going to just check and see if there's been any. Yeah, you have a hard time asking for help for yourself. Yeah, you're struggling. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And here again, this card was up earlier for a different reading, and I get the same thing from it. And keep in mind, these are both 10s. So you're portraying an image to the world right now that everything is good, but look at the shit happening in the background. So in this card, you have something like a city's literally freaking on fire in the background. And in this card, you've got the help. And I'm going to talk about that in a second. The help is actually zombies. So they can eat the brains of the people that they are taking care of anytime they want. Anytime they want. But here's the funny thing. That reminds me that people are being taken for granted. And so there is people, plurals, Lisa. There are people in your life who consciously or unconsciously, because it's not always intentional, are taking you for granted. And you're feeling that and you're getting kind of irritated. And you're like, okay, man, how about me now? How about me now? So you might need to, especially with your close relationships, start vocalizing that. As difficult as it is for you, you might need to starting off a conversation with, hey, I really wanted to reach out to you and talk because I'm having a rough day. Because what do we do when we reach out to people? The first thing we do is go, how are you? Because that's what's socially acceptable and it's considered polite and all this stuff. But it's almost like what you need to do is say, hey, yeah, I'm having kind of a crummy day. And let that start the conversation with the people that are close to you or that you really want to connect better with. And then see what happens. Because sometimes people are unintentionally oblivious. And I say that as somebody who, I do this with the tarot. I get really dig in and I'm very aware and empathic. But because I'm empathic all the time, sometimes I think I subconsciously turn it off. So I can be remarkably oblivious in day-to-day interactions, like remarkably oblivious. And sometimes if somebody's like, hey, I'm having kind of a crummy day, I'm like, oh, you are? Well, let's talk about that. But if they don't say that, sometimes I miss it. It's kind of a weird dichotomy in my own life. So let's see if Mildred Payne has anything to add. Oh, good, Christy. I'm glad that it's resonating. Yeah, yeah, exactly. And often the people that come across the strongest are the people that are really struggling. And this has such a strong message for you. This is so strong. It's like, look, I may be hanging out on the beach, but my whole fucking city's, sorry, my language again. My whole city's on fire. Like, what? That's my hometown burning back there. And you haven't even asked what's going on with me. So, yeah. Okay, let's see what Mildred Payne has to say. And then I think we've got somebody 4-4. Scorp. Scorp is next. If anybody knows where that question is and wants to paste it for me, that would be awesome. Just while I wrap up Christy here. Wrap up Christy like a mummy. No, I'm just kidding. Just wrap up your reading. Even a glamorous bitch can be in need. Thank you, Molly. I'm spotty mouth. Let it fly. Yeah, I'm trying not to because I want my channel to be family friendly-ish. But whatever. We'll see what happens. Okay. Gonna take these in and then I will share. I'm not going to be able to, I think. I don't know. We'll see how it happens as I start talking. My nose is all itchy. The first thing I thought when I pulled these cards, this is such a weird analogy. I don't even know if I can say it out loud. Okay, the message, regardless of the analogy, the message that came through with these is that really strong desire to be seen, because it's hard to ask for help. It's hard to admit that we're feeling vulnerable. It's hard to admit that we're having a rough day when we are used to being the givers and the helpers. And this is telling me that you want somebody to see it without you having to say it. And here's what I have to say about that. Yes, that would be really, really nice. And hopefully there are people in your life, or will be people in your life, who can do that for you. Not everybody can. And sometimes we put that expectation on other people, consciously and unconsciously, and it can be an easy trap to fall into. You might need to stretch yourself outside of your comfort zone and be more vocal. And that's kind of what the tarot was saying too. So I feel like that's a pretty clear message between both. Okay. So I think that about wraps it up. Christy, let me know if you have any questions or if anything was unclear. And then I will, oh, look at these people repasting the comp. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's see. Oh, there's a time in here. Will you be in a committed relationship in the next 8 months? That's very specific. Let's see what comes up. I don't think I've had anybody ask me a question quite like that. It's interesting. I like it. Okay. So I'm going to clear these out. Yeah, these are playful decks, Scorp. So I've got the Zombie Tarot because it's October, it's Halloween month, and the Mildred Payne Secret Pocket Oracle that I'm working with. So it's kind of playful, cheeky artwork with the Zombie Tarot, with a little bit of a creepy vibe. Think Walking Dead in the 1950s in collage. That's the artwork. You are welcome, Christy. Anytime. Anytime. Okay. Woo! First jumper. Yeah, this is a very jumpy deck, and it's funny because I don't have many. Maybe it's the cardstock. Maybe it's just the energy. Ooh, interesting. Okay. I'm going to take that in while I pull or shuffle, and we'll do a cut. I like them. They are different. Yeah, they are different. Okay. You can't rifle shuffle, Simon? I don't know why I'm surprised by that. I taught myself how to rifle shuffle with tarot cards. I was determined to learn, and I just tried until I got it. But I was really tenacious, as I can be. Okay. Oh, interesting. So, okay, Scorp, we got some things coming up here. So let me take this in for a second, and I think this is probably going to be my last reading. I don't know if there's anybody else in the queue. If anybody will tell me, that would be great. And I'll take a look, but I think this is going to have to be the last one because I'm already at 10 after 12. Okay. Okay, so Scorp, you got some stuff to deal with. I'm going to be pretty blunt here for a second. So I had 2 jumpers, and they were both 5s. So I had the 5 of Cups, which is about loss and grief and clinging to the past. And in this case, there's zombies in this freaking cemetery. And this mom and her child are at the gravestone of somebody that they've lost, obviously, with their tissues, being really upset. Meanwhile, there's a zombie walking right towards them. Plus, oh my God, and there's one right behind the tree that actually just scared me because I didn't see him. They are in real danger, and they're not letting go. They're not moving on, and they're going to die. Like, sorry, this is really dramatic. You're not going to die. I want to be clear. But the point of this card is that they're not moving on, and they're putting themselves in danger by not moving on. And so before you can move forward, thanks, honey. Peggy, honey, before you can move forward, you have to get up and get moving. And so there's some stuff in your past you have not been handling, not as well as you think you have. So maybe you think you've moved past it. Maybe you think you've let go of past hurt, things that make you feel gun shy, or maybe even hurt if you're in an existing relationship. This could be drama from the existing relationship. If you're seeing somebody, then you might be still overlaying expectations between you tell her, Peggy, Simon, oh my God. You might be overlaying expectations based on hurts from previous relationships, but your past is definitely screwing with you right now, and you need to get away from that because this is not going to help you get anywhere. But the other 5 you got was the 5 of Pentacles. And I'm going to, see, when my camera focuses, I can kind of focus on the art while I'm looking in my preview, but this one's not going to do it. Okay, so Hazards is Pentacles. And this person is like, their whole city has burned. So it's almost like the burnt city from the 10 of Cups. The whole city has burned, and this figure is trying hard to find something to scrape by with. So she's digging through the garbage can. She's trying to figure things out. And again, I get this feeling that there's a little bit of internal drama happening. There's a little bit of, maybe even a lot of, you know, only you can know that. But there's a bit of this digging in and sorry, I can't with this. Sorry, it's just I'm giggling because I'm distracted and I can't help it. But both of these cards actually speak to really being hung up on the past and really being hung up on the stuff that feels difficult. And that is going to be your biggest barrier moving forward into relationship. So there's some healing work, possibly some shadow work that needs to be done. And I'm going to add really especially shadow work because also the devil came up. Now in this deck, the devil is actually one of those old-fashioned cigarette machines. Does anybody remember those? And this speaks to vices and habits. So I have things to do before I drag Lisa away from chat. Yeah, that's happening really soon. So basically, the strong message I get from this, Scorp, is that you've got to deal with the stuff that's been holding you back, and you've got to deal with your part in the stuff. So there's some personal work you need to do on you to not fall into old habits yourself, and some personal work you need to do around letting go of what other people have done to you or the perceived things that other people have done to you. So this all needs to happen. So there's definitely a bit of work. And my immediate answer would be no, probably not a relationship in the next 8 months. But it's really more, it's less about time, I think, in this case, and more about you need to complete this work first. So if this work gets done, coincidentally, in the next 8 months, which could happen if you're real dedicated, then you'll be good. But otherwise, you've got some stuff to handle before. And let's see if Mildred Payne has anything to add for you, Scorp. And then this is going to be my last reading because Peggy's going to literally come in and drag me away in a second. Let's see if Mildred has any further insights for us. And I know Mildred is not a real person, but now my deck has a name, so I'm just going to call her Mildred, and she's going to be Mildred. That's really good advice, Nikki, and that's a sweet thing to say. Yeah, it's tough. It's hard to be in that position where you got to deal with all the crap. I know it. I've been there so many times, and it's hard when you're in it, but there's always light at the end of the tunnel, and you know what? You will be stronger for it, for sure. Okay, let's see what Mildred has to say. Oh, see, Mildred's like giving you some good vibes here. Look at that. Okay. Mildred is all positive. So you got beat up a bit by the zombie tarot, but Mildred, who doesn't seem like, you know, the kind of deck that would be hitting you with the love, is hitting you with some love. So I got the Dove card, which is, of course, about peace and healing. The Ankh, which is about luck and good vibes. At least that's what I'm getting from it right now. And Saturn. So here's what I have to say about this. The reward for the work that you're about to undertake or you are undertaking on yourself, what that brings you, firstly, is just good stuff for you. Because when you're in a good, strong place, you're going to have healthier relationships in general. So good stuff, good luck, peace, healing. These are really great things. And then what I get from Saturn is, okay, so Saturn has the ring, and what I got from this, the first thing I thought when I pulled it, was that by doing this work, you are going to be able to surround yourself with people that deserve to be in your orbit, that deserve to be around you. I have a feeling that there have been some people that you have allowed in your life, and you didn't know. There's no blame here, but there have been people that have ended up in your orbit or in your circle who have not necessarily been good for you. And the result of that has been to feel really run down and beaten down by life, by those situations. And I just really feel like there's going to be an opportunity to have so much strength and so much ability to stand your sacred ground and to hold your firm boundaries and to relate in a healthy but strong way. So I get the feeling that the outcome of this work is going to be empowering and is going to set you up so that any relationships that come about after this work or as a result of this work are going to be relationships that are healthy for you or healthier for you. And you're going to be able to identify the problem children, so to speak, when they show up. That's what I get from that. Oh, that was so much fun. I'm so glad I got to do so many readings with both of these decks. This is why I want to do live chats every week, because I really get to know the decks so much better when I'm reading for other people and not just for myself. Yay! Yes, Nikki. Yeah, it was nice that Mildred gave us a positive message. She's been pretty punchy, not bad punchy, just like straightforward, and that was definitely some lovey-dovey energy from her. So that was cool. Oh, yay! I'm so glad you guys enjoyed this. I love doing it. We will have to do it again soon. I might just have to do it on Saturday mornings because freaking Peggy's still waking up anyways, right? So maybe Saturday morning after Simon will have to be a new thing. Oh, you like my style? I like my style too. I really enjoy getting to dig into both intuition and meanings, and I feel like in lives it's nice because it's very zippy and quick. And because it's zippy and quick, I feel like I get to really ride that intuitive energy forward from one reading to the next, and it makes it so that it's really easy to read for people. So yeah, I think maybe I will do Simon's Saturdays. Like I said, Simon's Saturdays. Simon doesn't own Saturdays. I mean, you own Saturday mornings, kind of. But I definitely think I will have to go live after Simon in the future because I'm already awake, man. Yeah, these are both really great. And I'm really pleased with how much I was pulling from the artwork on the Zombie Tarot. This one is a super pleasant surprise. I thought it was going to be, you know what, the Game of Thrones Tarot was similar, but I thought it was going to be mostly a campy fun deck. But I might be pulling this out more times throughout the year than just Halloween, because that was giving me a ton. And I feel like it was definitely calling out some stuff and getting right to the heart of an issue, even if the artwork is a little disturbing at times, and definitely good for like strong, like empowering readings, I feel like too. Oh yes, Satya, please ask a question next time. So you know what? Let's just plan loosely for Saturday mornings after Simon's chats when I'm available, which won't be necessarily every single Saturday, but I will try to go live again next Saturday. Usually what I do is after Simon's chat, I record a video or two, and then I can go live after that. So somewhere ballpark around this time of the day. All right, guys, I better go before Peggy comes to get me. Thank you so much for staying. I love you all, and I will see you all again really, really soon. Bye.